celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. This is Prodigy Bowlers Tour. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and on today's special Christmas edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, we bring you two of our jolliest Prodigy regulars. It's a 3-game total pins match between Charlie and Christian. And you know, because it's the Christmas season, it only seemed right that the players come in a gift-giving spirit. So today, we present the first ever Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas Gift Exchange. Here's how it works. In each game, each player will have the opportunity to gift his opponent one shot that he throws. So, for instance, if you leave a wide-open split, you can reject it for yourself and gift it to your opponent, and he'll have to take it for his next frame. And that's the essence of the Prodigy Gift Exchange. We'll explain it as we go along. So, without further ado, let's get the sleigh bells ringing and the bowling balls singing. Charlie won the toss, and in the Christmas spirit, elected to let Christian start. So Christian will lead off in the first and third games. And here we go. And a little unusual, we're actually recording this on a Thursday evening, which is why we have just two of the kids with us. Charlie was pre-bowling, and Christian came up with me to practice. And he begins with a strike. Now, of course, he could gift Charlie with that strike, but he's saying, no, I'm keeping it. And that's how that works. I suspect the gifts we see exchanged in the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas Gift Exchange will be mostly booby prizes. Solid strike for Charlie to start, so they both get off to a quick beginning. And Charlie will move over to the left lane, and he too decides to keep that strike, not gifting it to Christian. Just not sensing a real giving spirit in either one of these two. Charlie throwing his new urethane ball. And he likes it. Nice, smooth reaction. Christian hoping that Santa Claus brings him a urethane ball. Maybe he will. See if he can keep pace. Another one. Nothing but strikes from these two as we get this match started. A 3-game total pins affair. So no need to get too concerned if you fall behind early in a match. You've got 30 frames. Comes up in that half pocket, and he shreds the rack. A good strike and a good start for Christian. Now Charlie will move over to the right lane, see if he can put up a turkey. I should say so. Now, since this is Thursday evening, we're bowling on the house shot. Usually when we bowl Saturdays, we get the lane people to put out a sport shot for Prodigy, but on this night, we're just bowling on the house shot. Oh. I'm sensing this is the time. Charlie is going to gift this shot to Christian. So you saw the gift drop into Christian's 4th frame. So even though Charlie was bowling in the 4th frame, This goes into Christian's fourth frame. Charlie is gifting this split to Christian, and now he will have to shoot it. And what he gets will be his score. So we're taking a moment to get the score sheet, the overhead score sheet, adjusted. But now Christian will have to go at this. Of course, a couple of ways to try it. Most of the time, you'd probably go for the 3 on the right. But if you really want to make it, I think the odds are better by going for the 2 on the left. That's what he's doing. Oh, he pulled it. And that's 6 out. So a disastrous frame for Christian in the fourth. And he didn't do anything wrong. Charlie gave him that one. So Christian has his fourth frame already bowled, so the next time he gets up, he'll only need to bowl 1 frame. Charlie, meanwhile, is still up. He hasn't bowled his fourth frame yet. He started to, but that ended up being Christian's fourth frame. So Charlie will bowl his fourth, still on the left lane. At least that's how it's supposed to work, if we don't get confused. Lord knows that's always a possibility. Well, he makes a slight adjustment. It doesn't come up quite as high, but the string of strikes is broken nonetheless. He leaves the 4. But a much easier spare than the Greek church, I should say. And a spare for Charlie. And I would say that was a fortunate happening right there. For Charlie, anyway. Christian now up on the right. Bowling in the 5th frame. And he's thrown nothing but strikes, but trails by 22 pins. How do you like them apples? So it's Charlie's turn once again, and he'll be back up on the right. Now Charlie has no more gifts to give this game. He's already given his 1 gift. And he puts a powerful ball right in the pocket for another strike. These two are bowling well, save for that one errant shot that Charlie threw that he ended up giving to Christian. Boy, there's a ripper for you. With a urethane ball, no less. You got that thing to drive through. Let's take another look at it. Watch this ball. It'll come into the half pocket. Watch the 5. Drive over and take out the 7. The swisher. And Christian with another strike. He's perfect through 5 frames. That split in the 4th. He didn't throw it. Charlie gave him that. See if Christian has any gifts up his sleeve for Charlie before this match is over. I suspect he'll keep that one. So Christian has thrown nothing but strikes. But Charlie has the lead by 12, and he can extend it to 22 with another strike right here in the 7th. And there it is. Well, at least we're getting to see these two bowl well. Now Charlie on the left lane, the one that he had a couple of high hits. And then he made the adjustment and got that ripper in the 6th, but this time the ball doesn't quite finish and he leaves a weak 10. And that leaves an opening for Christian when he gets up in the 8th. Charlie will go cross lane at the 10. Oh, and it got away from him. So an opening. Now the lead is down to just 9. Christian can take the lead with a strike here in the 8th. Didn't see that coming. And he gets another one. Christian has thrown nothing but strikes through the first 8 frames. If not for that gift that Charlie gave him in the 4th, Christian would be perfect. Oh, this one's wide. And he points to it, and he is telling Charlie, this one's yours. So Christian gifts the 1-2-4 to Charlie. He says, no thanks. I'll let you have this one. Merry Christmas. Not quite as difficult as the Greek church that Charlie gave to Christian earlier, but I think Christian was thinking more in terms of, I'd like to have that shot over. Maybe put up another strike in the 9th. So Charlie shooting at the spare, covers it. So Christian will go ahead and bowl his 9th frame on the left lane where he started to a moment ago. And if he can throw another strike here, he will move out ahead by 11. Going into the 10th frame. This could be a big turnaround right here. Takes his time. Week 10. Doesn't quite get up. So, with a spare, these two will be all knotted up heading into the 10th frame. And Christian covers the 10 pin. So now Charlie will bowl his 10th frame on the right lane. He would have bowled it on the left lane, but Christian gifted him that spare in the 9th. It was on the left lane, so Charlie's already bowled on the left, so he'll bowl on the right. High. 3-6. Loses a couple of pins in count. We've talked about this before. I'd much rather see these kids shoot the 3-6 from the extreme left. And that's why. You play it down the right side and you're more likely to chop the 3 off the 6. So a huge opening for Christian now. gives Christian the chance to take a big lead into the second game. If this were a one-game match, all he would need is 9 pins on this ball to win it. And that would do it, although, as I mentioned, this is not a one-game match. It's total pins for 3 games. This is just the first of 3 games. But he can get to 236, and that would give him a 23-pin lead heading into game 2. But it won't be quite that much as he lets that one sail wide of the head pin.
Oh, shoot, I forgot it's total pin.
Even Christian, he says, I forgot that it was total pins. He thought he'd won the match. Well, he won the first game. It doesn't mean anything. It means he's going to take a 13-pin lead into the second game. But the Christmas gift exchange will continue. They will have a gift apiece to exchange in the second game when we return right after this.
Hey guys, I just wanted to wish all the Prodigy viewers out there a Merry Christmas. I hope you spend it with your family, having a great time, and also have a Happy New Year.
Hey Prodigy viewers, wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey Prodigy fans, I wanted to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday Season from my family Tears.
So with game 1 in the books, Christian notches a 226 game, even with that Greek church that Charlie gifted him. And Charlie walks away with a 213 game despite the chopped spare in the 10th. So this is very much anybody's match. Remember, it's total pins for 3 games. And Christian takes a 13-pin lead into game 2, which begins right now as Charlie is set to lead off on the left lane. Christian started game 1. He will start game 3, but Charlie begins the second game. And that shot comes up a little thin. And he's got the 2-4-8. Here's how you make it. Shoot it just like the 2-4-5-8, the bucket. You don't have the risk of chopping the 2 off the 5. It's a little easier. And that's well done right there. So Charlie with a mark to start. As you watch this show over the Christmas holiday break, these kids are off from league until January 6th, that first Saturday in January. But this was actually filmed before we went on break. They had one more date to bowl before 2 weeks off. There's another solid shot by Christian. He's bowled well tonight. Maybe could have gotten more out of that first game, but of course that Greek church that Charlie gifted him wasn't exactly helpful. That is in the weeds, and looky here. Christian has one early for Charlie this match. The 2-4-8-10. Now, actually, this can be made. You want to play it just like you would play the 2-10. Put the ball on the left side of the 2, but you want to hook it in there. You don't want to throw it straight. You want to hook it in there so that the 4-pin takes out the 8. See if he can do it. Oh, he hooks by everything. Well, so that's going to be a disastrous frame for Charlie in the second, and I have a sneaking suspicion that he'll have something special for Christian later in the match. But for now, Christian with a 31-pin lead, and now he will bowl his second frame here on the left lane, which is what he started to do a moment ago, when he gifted that split to Charlie. Pulled that one, and it just never got into the dry to get a chance to drive through. So he'll go cross lane at the 10. Good shot. Christian has finally figured out how to use that spare ball. He has improved his right side spare shooting a lot. They're trying to figure out where Charlie needs to bowl. Now, he only needs to bowl one frame. He needs to bowl the third frame, and he'll bowl it here on the right lane. And oh, looky here. Well, well, well. He has a gift for Christian. He throws it in the gutter and lets Christian have that as his Christmas gift this game. And that hurt because it counts 10 against Christian's score. He loses 10 pins in count on the first ball. Now let's see if he can convert the spare. He's going to need to maintain his 21 pin advantage. But no, it goes high. He gets 8 out. So 0 and then 8 in the frame. And that big lead that Christian had is now down to 9 pins. We're waiting a moment while we get the overhead score sheet reset. Software in the Bowling Center scoring system doesn't know how to deal with the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas gift exchange, so they have to make the changes manually. And now Charlie will bowl his third frame on the right lane. And that's more like what we would expect out of Charlie. Although he did throw that gutter ball with extreme grace and precision, wouldn't you say? He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he executed it flawlessly. Oh, he gets a wall shot that time. He pulled that shot in the oil. It never really read the lane, but it caught that light shaker area of the pocket. And, well, that's what you do. And now both players have given up their gift this game. Christian pulls one Brooklyn and gets the trip 6. He's probably not proud of this one, but he will by golly take it, and we'll take another look. It goes Brooklyn. Watch the 3 go to the wall, slip between the 6 and 10, and take both of them out. Take the lead with a strike here. But no. 3-6-10. This is the spare that gave Christian fits over the summer. But I think he has figured it out. And that's well done. So now if you're looking at the score sheet and thinking, well, wait a minute, Charlie's ahead by more than one. This factors in the lead that Christian built up in the first game. Boy, there's a solid one for Charlie. So that's a turkey now. And he extends his lead. Oh, he really likes this red urethane ball that he just got, and you can see why. It doesn't overreact. Doesn't have any sort of negative effect from any over-under on the lane. It just smoothly moves off the dry. And that's another strike for Charlie. And now the lead is 21. Christian motions to the left as if to warn the gallery left of the fairway that there's a golf ball coming. Yeah, when you throw them like that in bowling, you don't have to yell, 4! Whoops. No sooner had I sung his praises on shooting right side spares, and he pulls one when shooting at the 10-pin. And now that lead increases for Charlie to 33. It's another wide one, and he's not going to get to give this one away. He has already gifted Charlie once this game, so Christian gets to shoot it. And he leaves a couple. So Charlie looks like he is just going to run away and hide this game, working on 4 in a row. See if he can extend the lead to 55 with a strike in the 7th. No doubt about it. I don't know what he bowled when he was pre-bowling for league, but he's got this pair wired. Wow. That's a 6-bagger. And Christian better buckle up here, or he's going to get left behind in the dust. Christian needs to put some X's up on the scoreboard this game. You don't want to wait till game 3 to try to cover all this ground. Better chip into it now. Well, there's one. One of my favorite kind of strikes. That's the light shaker, or as some people like to call it, the tossed salad strike. Watch this one. The head pin goes to the wall and just takes out everything. He needs to string some. That was a pretty good ball. He just pulled it, didn't have the right angle, and as a result, the 6 flies around the 10. That's a solid 10. There's a better shot at that corner pin than the one he missed earlier. Now Charlie up on the right lane in the 9th frame. How about that? That is 7 in a row. Wow, he is just putting it on Christian this game. Good heavens. Keep throwing them like this. Christian's not going to have any chance at all. Christian's going to have to do something like this the next game and hope that Charlie comes back down to earth, or this match is going to be decided very quickly. Finally, the string comes to an end as Charlie leaves a 10-pin, but that puts him in the 250s. Nothing to it. That's a 251, and he didn't break a sweat. And now Christian needs to just get all he can here. Maybe chip away 10 pins or so on this lead. He's going to have a mountain to climb in the third game if he wants to catch Charlie. Just for his own pride, he needs to at least mark just to avoid getting beat by 100 pins this game. Well, there's the mark. And better yet, it's a strike, so if he can put another one behind it, he can chip into this lead a little bit. This has been a pretty sketchy game for Christian, even with the gift that Charlie gave him in the third frame. He didn't bowl particularly well. And look at that, that's way wide. And he will finish in the 150s after this fill ball. A good conversion of the 129, a 154. But Christian has 84 pins to make up in one game. That's a pretty tall order.
Hi bowlers, this is Coach John, wishing you and yours the happiest holiday seasons, and keep on bowling.
Hi, I'm Will, and this is Apollo. We would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey, I'm Mark.
And I'm Mark Stad.
And I'd like to wish you a happy holiday to all you Prodigy viewers out there.
Hey, Prodigy viewers, I'm Hunter.
I'm Hunter's little sister, Rachel.
Happy holidays!
After a 251 in his second game, Charlie has moved out to a commanding lead in our 3 games total pins match with Christian, 464 to 380. That's an 84-pin lead. Not insurmountable, but Christian is going to need to shoot a big game and hope that Charlie has an off game. Can happen, but McFluffy is going to need everything to go right for him in this third and decisive game. Christian will lead off this game as he did in the first game. He needs nothing but strikes. Well, there's a good one to start. Got to start somewhere. But you got to figure Charlie can just about cruise in the rest of the way. If he just keeps his hands on the steering wheel, he ought to be able to take this one home. Charlie's still looking for his first win of the season on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, so Even though this is just a one-on-one match, it still would count. He could get his name on the coveted trophy pin if he just doesn't lose this game by 85 pins. Shreds the rack in the first frame and lets Christian know he's not going away. Take another look at that. Watch the 5 pin. It'll just whistle over into the 7. And a can opener in the second frame. So Charlie's got that urethane ball humming for him. And the lead is now 94 pins. That's not the direction Christian needed to see that lead going. Got to match him strike for strike. There's a good one. Well, this is what we see with Christian every now and then. He'll have one of those games where you just wonder if he just bowled it blindfolded. His floor will drop out every now and then. Almost gets it on that pin that was rolling around, but not to be. So a double is all he can get to start. And he has the 10 pin. Goes to the spare ball. This is a plastic ball. Shoot from the extreme left side. Well, he's been pretty successful with it so far today. He missed one earlier, but other than that, I think he's made the rest of his 10 pins. But now Charlie can put it back to 95. Oh, 9 and a wiggle. Doesn't quite go. Just a fraction high. You're going to leave those 4 pins. Every once in a while you can trip one out, but not to be this time. Charlie takes care of the 4 pin, no problem. Well, it seems that Christian's chances are pretty remote, given that he's got to pick up 84 pins in just 7 frames, but anything's possible. Charlie almost left the 5-7. That's the danger you run into sometimes throwing a weak ball like a urethane. I think if this was a tournament, Charlie would probably not be throwing that urethane. Takes care of the 7. And now Christian's got to go to work. I think at this point in the proceedings, you got to figure he's got to strike pretty much every time. If Christian were to strike out, he'd shoot 279. Charlie is already at a 208 pace. Oh, how about that one? Well, we see those where the 5 pin sails over into the 7. Let's see what this was. Was it the top of the 5? Yes, it was. Oh, almost a split. Charlie breaks it up. So with that double, Christian has chipped into the lead a little bit, but don't forget, Charlie still has a Christmas gift he can give to Christian. It's a gift he won't want, I'm sure. Christian starts to get close. Solid in the pocket. Wow, you just can't throw it any better than that. And honestly, these lane conditions are not really made for playing down the third arrow with a urethane ball. Not on the left lane anyway. Now the right lane is hooking a lot more than the left. And Christian comes up just a little high, and the best he can do is another double. He's thinking about it. He needs to string strikes. Is he going to shoot it? He grabs his spare ball. He has given the 4-pin to Charlie as a Christmas gift. I don't think he's doing it because he thinks Charlie will miss the 4, but just because Christian knows he's got to string strikes. He can't afford to let this string end right there on 2 in a row. I had a feeling he might do that. Well, so we're changing the overhead scoring to reflect the change in the score. Even though Christian left the 4-pin, he is gifting it to Charlie. So now Charlie is bowling in his 7th frame, shooting at the 4. Oh, he slipped. And the ball hooks by, and there's an unexpected open. So with that, Christian chips into the lead a little more. And now he will bowl his 6th frame. He can cut this lead down to 39 if he can throw 2 strikes while he's up. But no. He says that's even worse, and he's right. He gets 8 instead of 9, so once again, 2 in a row is all he seems to be able to muster. He covers the 3-6. Let's see, he can go 137, 67, 97, 27, 57. He can go 257 if he goes sheet. It's just about out of reach. You would think Charlie could get enough from here, almost blindfolded he could do it. Christian gives it a little extra rip at the bottom, and that's what happens. It overreacts, and now he's got the 3-6-10. And he covers it, but he's running out of frames and running out of chances. Charlie, who's already bowled on the right lane with the gift shot that Christian gave him, and now Charlie throws one in the gutter, and I think we all know what he's going to do with this. That is his final Christmas gift to Christian, and it goes in the 8th frame, so that's 0 count on a spare, no less. So Christian loses 10 pins in count. So that reduces his possible score to 224. And I think he's just about out of it now. Well, we have a balk. He's got to make this. He's got to make this and hope that Charlie fouls on the rest of his shots. Doesn't seem all that likely, but I've seen some pretty crazy things happen in this game. Maybe not anything quite that crazy. Okay, Christian, throw it. Well, we may still be correcting the score on the overhead. That may be the delay here. I think that's what's going on. But now Christian has... he's got to be ready by now. In addition to giving him a 0 count on the first ball, we make him wait this long to throw the spare. But he covers it. It was a good shot. But I believe Charlie is getting down to where just about anything on the lane is going to be enough. Take another look at Christian's spare ball. Right in the pocket. After Charlie gifted him that gutter ball. Now let's see if Charlie can put this match away. I think that might just do it. Yes, it did. So Christian can't catch him now. Charlie with another strike in the 9th. He's bowled about as well as you could hope. These lanes are pretty chewed up, I gotta say. Charlie pre-bowled for league on them, and they had been bowled on all day. I don't believe he had fresh to start. And this right lane is hooking a lot more than the left lane. I'm surprised everybody's playing as far out to the right as they are. I threw a few balls on this before we started filming, and I had to stand in front of the ball return on the right lane. I don't hook it that much. A 9 count. So with a conversion, Christian is going to end up in the low 2-0s. That's why they paint them.
So you need a strike. For me to get a first strike before him to get the first strike.
And a solid ball to finish. Well, Christian bowled pretty well the first and third games. It's just that middle game that he just got plowed over. Charlie, a possible 224 with 3 strikes here in the 10th. Oh, look at him loft it for 6. Goes with the big loft. Got that thing out almost to the arrows, I think. Match already in hand. He opens in the 10th, but he takes the 3 games total pins match. We'll add them all up and get him to sign a replica of the coveted trophy pin after this.
Hello everyone, Coach Juan here. Wanted to take a minute to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I wish everybody the best in this upcoming year, 2018.
Hello Prodigy viewers, happy holidays from Coach Antonio and Kaya.
Hey guys, it's Brandon from Prodigy.
And this is Brandon's dad, Jerry.
And we want to wish you a happy holiday and a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Well, the stockings have been hung by the chimney with care, and that puts a nice, neat bow on the 2017 Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas gift exchange. I think both players were in the mood for giving, even if they weren't really in the mood to receive. If nothing else, I'd say the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas gift exchange proves beyond any doubt that it's better to give than it is to receive. And while Christian can take some comfort from the fact that he won 2 out of the 3 games, that wasn't the objective. It was a 3-game total pins match, and that second game, the one that he lost, Charlie just dusted him. So Charlie wins the 2017 Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas gift exchange by a final score of 652 to 584. That's a 68-pin margin. And since Coach Randy failed to bring the coveted trophy pin down to the bowling alley on this night, we'll just have to improvise and get Charlie to sign a drawing of the coveted trophy pin until we see him again and he can sign the real deal. It's Charlie's first win on Prodigy in the 2017-18 season, so he was a little overdue. Congratulations to our winner, and while we wait for the fat man in the red suit to come sliding down the chimney, we have a holiday surprise for you. This is, after all, the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas gift exchange, and we have a holiday gift for you. It's the first ever Prodigy Bowlers Tour double-header broadcast. Stay tuned. Right after this, 3 more games between these two in 3 different formats, just for fun.
Hi everybody, my name is Derek Brown and I'm the son of Randy Brown. This is Randy's granddaughter Chase and his grandson Bo, and we just wanted to wish everyone out in Prodigy Bowler Land Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. So from Portland, Oregon, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas!
Live on tape from Brunswick's own Roswell in Roswell, Georgia. It's a special holiday gift to you. Extra bonus matches just in time for Christmas. And in these 3 matches, our 2 players, Charlie and Christian, will be bowling 3 different formats. In match 1, they'll be bowling a game called Pinpoint, where players must knock down a prescribed number of pins in each frame to get the prescribed point values assigned to each frame. We'll explain it as we go along. In match 2, they'll be bowling suicide no-tap, where 9 pins on the first ball get you a strike, but a strike on the first ball is worth 0, and you must shoot at a full rack for a spare. And in match 3, they'll be scoring it in the normal 10-pin bowling style, but the loser of our earlier 3-game total pins match today, Christian, will get to select which ball each player must use in the game. So here we go with match number 1, Pinpoint. In the first and 10th frames, each player gets just 1 ball. They can have up to 2 shots in frames 2 through 9, so long as they don't go over the prescribed number of pins they need in the frame. The first frame is worth 10 points. First time I introduced the kids to this game a couple of years ago, they were pretty intrigued by it. This was actually a game show on TV in the 60s. The pro bowlers bowled on it. He needed a strike. He got 9, so Charlie will get 0 for the first frame. Again, the first and 10th frames, the players only get to throw 1 shot. In frames 2 through 9, they can throw 2 balls, but they can only throw the second one if their first one doesn't give them more pins than they need. We'll show you as we go along. Christian needs a strike. That's 9, and that counts for nothing. So, goose eggs after the first frame. When the pros used to bowl on this show back in the 60s, a score of around 120 was usually enough to win. This is very difficult. They need 9 pins here in the second frame, and Christian gets 7, but as long as you don't get more than you need, you can throw a second shot. So now he's got to figure out how to knock down 2 of these and leave 1 standing. He's got the 1, 2, 8. I think if it was me, I would go wide and try to just clip the 1 pin into the 2 and leave the 8 standing. He's going to try to pull out the 2, 8, but he missed them both. So that's another 0. So Charlie will try his hand at getting 9. He moves to the extreme left side of the approach. And strikes. And so he will not get a second ball because he went over the number of pins he needed. So a second ball won't help him. So now they move to frame 3. Now the point values go up to 20. They need 8 pins. And there's 8 pins. So Charlie scores 20 points and takes the lead in this pinpoint match. He doesn't have to throw a second ball. He got 8 on the first ball. So now Christian will try to get 8. He had his strike ball in his hand. He's going with a spare ball. That's the way I play this game. And there's 6. So he needs 2 more. And this actually is a pretty good leave for that. Just throw it down there at the 6 pin. Get the 6 and 9 off of this spare. Leave the 1 and 3 standing. Easy peasy. But Christian pulls it, gets too many. So another 0 for McFluffy. So we move to frame 4. This time they need 7 pins. Once again, it's worth 20 points. Oh, he had 7, but the 4 went out. And that's too many. So he gets 0 for the frame. Again, you get too many and you don't get to throw that second shot. And there's 7 pins. So Charlie scores yet again in the 4th frame. And now he's up to 40 points. As he moves over to the other lane, and now we will bowl the 5th frame. You see, it's a descending number of pins each frame. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It'll go all the way down to 1 in the 10th frame. Well, that would be a great shot for the 10th frame, but he needs 6. And now he's left himself a bit of a conundrum. He got 1. He needs to figure out how to pull out 5 more. And instead, he gets a total of 4. So that's good for 0. The way you get 6 pins is you pull off the 3 pins off the right side of the rack and the 3 pins off the left side of the rack. Seems easy enough. Christian pulls it again and hits the pocket. And when you hit the pocket, you're usually going to get more than 6. So that's a 0. And Christian with the big goose egg halfway through this game. And now we move to frame 6. They need 5 pins for 30 points. Oh, he had 5 until the 2 pin went out. But now that's 6. It's too many. Close. So Charlie will try his hand at it. He needs 5 pins. And he gets 6. So, still 40-0. Moving to the 7th frame. They need 4 pins. Point values, 40 points. Now there's the 5 he was looking for in the previous frame. The way you get 4, if you haven't already figured it out, is to get 3 off of one side of the rack and 1 off the other side. Pretty straightforward. This game does make you think. And you have to be pinpoint accurate. Hence the name. Now on the game show, they had a jackpot shot that the winner would shoot. It was a full rack minus the 1 pin. We won't do that. Christian needed 4. He left 4, so he got 6. And he's still staring at the big 0. So on to the 8th frame. This is one of the easier ones, actually. You just need 3 pins. Pull the 6, 9, 10 out of the rack, or the 4, 7, 8. For 40 points. This is one they ought to be able to do. Oh, but he gets the 8 pin as well. And so 4 is 1 too many. So another 0. I have seen games of 0 bowled in this format. It's not that unusual, especially if the player doesn't practice this. All right, Charlie, let's see if he can get 3. He gets 5. So it's not as easy as it appears. And now they move to the 9th frame. Now, I know these kids have done this drill about 1,000,000 times because I've put them through the paces. This is the one where you clip off the 10 pin with one ball and the 7 pin with the other. But guess what? If you get none on the first ball, that makes it decidedly more difficult to get 2. Got a couple of choices here. You can either just try to make the 7-10 off a full rack, and good luck with that. I actually did it once when I was a junior bowler by accident. Or you can try to hook the snot out of it and have the ball go through and clip out the 6 and 9. Charlie was going for the 7-10 and got nothing. So it's there for the taking. Christian running out of frames. He knows what he's got to do here. Oh, there's the 3 he was looking for in the previous frame. But now he's down to his last ball. Again, as we mentioned at the beginning, in the first and 10th frames, you only get 1 ball. So he's got to decide, do I go for the 7 or do I go for the 10? Whatever he tries to get, he's got to pull out just the 1 pin. Otherwise, he's going to post a big fat 0. And he did it. He gets 50 points. So not only does he avoid the shutout, but he takes the lead. And now Charlie will get 1 ball to pull out either the 7 or the 10 pin, and if he can do it, he'll win. Otherwise, Christian is going to steal this one from him in the 10th frame. See what he can do here. We have another balk. We've got some people bowling over to our right, and it may be that he just wanted to wait and let them go. All right. Needs 1 pin only. And he gets it. And Charlie wins at the wire. Watch this. So Charlie wins again. Christian is still waiting for his first win tonight. See if he can get one next.
Hi, I'm Terrell.
Hi, I'm Josh.
And we'd like to wish all you Prodigy viewers everywhere a very Merry Christmas.
This is Nick.
Hi, this is Matt.
And this is Michelle, their mom.
And we would just like to wish you
a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
Hey everyone, I'm Jake.
I'm Jake's mom.
And I'm Jake's dad.
And we want to wish the Prodigy family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, this is Jeff. And this is Josh. We're wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and great bowling in 2018. Y'all have a good one.
Well, Christian tried to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, but Charlie pulled the rug out from under him at the end, taking the Pinpoint match. So now we move to match 2, and a game we call Suicide No Tap. The rules are simple. Get 9 on your first ball, and it counts as a strike. But a natural strike is the same as throwing it in the gutter, so be careful. Charlie leading off. And that's no good. Most times he would love that. But you knock them all down, and it counts as 0. And you got to shoot at the full rack for your spare. Now you got to knock down all 10 on the second ball. So if he can repeat that feat, he'll start with a spare. And he does. Now I got to say that Christian has been begging me to repeat this format. We did this just before Christmas last year also. Suicide no tap. He loved it so much. He kept asking me, we got to do that format again. I want to do suicide no tap. So this has been by his request, his insistence, I dare say. He sends it wide, but I got to tell you, that's not a bad way to play this game. He throws his spare ball at it, sends it a little wide, knowing it's not going to make it all the way back. And he gets 8 and leaves a very makeable 1-2 spare. It's been my experience that in this format, if you shoot in the 160s, that's pretty good. He covers the spare. First time I ever bowled in suicide no tap, I actually won the tournament. And I shot 3 games in the 160s. And now you're probably thinking, well, were you bowling a bunch of one-legged blind people? No, there were actually some pretty good bowlers in the field. It was just one of those things that I just managed to get a lot of 9 counts. And when I did strike, I was able to knock all 10 down most of the time and get spares. Christian almost tripped out that 7-pin, and that would have been a strike. But an 8 count is not bad. You go 8 spare every frame, you shoot 180. That'll win most suicide no tap matches. Takes care of the 4-7. So he's clean through the first 2. Now Charlie will move over to the right lane once again. Last year when we bowled in this format, it was several people bowling the game and only 2 surviving. Charlie was one of them that got eliminated, so he was not real happy with this format. Oh, he throws it slow and weak, hoping that maybe he'd get 9, but instead he leaves a difficult split, the 5-10. And you can probably watch Charlie from now until your dying day, and you'll never see him leave the 5-10 again. Throws a backup at it. And nearly makes it, but that's an open frame, and Christian takes a lead in this match. And Charlie throwing it super slow. Trying not to knock down all 10. He gets 7. Not a bad play. Ooh, nearly chops it. But that's the advantage of playing that spare down the left side of the lane. You cut down on the angle to chop the 2 off the 5. That's why you play it that way. And Christian gets a little too much of a handful with that plastic ball that time and knocks them all down, and that's no good in this game, where 9 is a strike and a strike is 0. So we'll reset the rack and he will shoot at the spare. He also loses 10 pins in count. So now the lead is down to just 1. and then he gets 3. I don't know why he threw his spare ball at that. He needed to knock them all down.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, he just forgot, I guess. I don't know. Kid's a bit of a knucklehead. What can I tell you? I love him to death, but he's a knucklehead. Oh, there's 9. That's how you get a strike in suicide no-tap. In fact, there is no other way to get a strike than to get 9. 10 is too many. But that disastrous third frame for Christian just handed the lead to Charlie. And if Christian was hoping to get his first victory of the night, he's going to have to step it up. Charlie crossing over, hoping to catch a piece of the 10 pin, helping to catch a piece of the 1 pin, I should say. But misses it and leaves a simple spare, the 1-3. And he covers it. So he maintains a 14-pin lead. Spares are huge in this game. Oh boy, that's a 5 count. You don't need too many of those. But he covers it. And so the lead is 9. Once again, a strike is no good. You need 9 to get a strike. A strike counts as 0. There's 8. Close. Christian shouldn't have any problem with this. 3-6. He's practiced this 3-6, 3-6-10 combination ever since the summer. And he got away with that one, but it's a spare nonetheless. The one thing about this format is it's hard to catch up. If you want to string strikes, you have to figure out a way to throw 9 after 9 after 9, and that's not easy. Which is ironic, because a lot of us would tell you that we can do it in league all night long. And Christian, once again, working on a spare, gets a natural strike, which is a 0 count, so he loses 10 pins in count, and now he's really got to make this. But no, he throws it into the ditch. So the dreaded double gutter in the 6th. And that was a costly, costly frame. And now Charlie has a 39-pin lead. And he's gone back to lofting the gutter. Well, he did that before and struck. Unfortunately, strikes, natural strikes anyway, in this format are no good. Look at that. That was over the 6th arrow. Well, as I mentioned earlier, this right lane is hooking a ridiculous amount. I'm surprised they're able to play it out to the right as far as they are. I couldn't find anything out there when I was throwing it. But there's a spare for Charlie. He maintains a big lead. And there's a 9 count. That counts as a strike in this game. So Christian's got his hands full yet again. He's been trying to climb a mountain just about every match tonight. That pin came back. I thought it might knock one of those two over, but no. That's an 8 count. The one thing you've got to guard against in this game is when you do have a spare up, or if you happen to get a double up or something like that, you have got to protect against hitting flush in the pocket. Because if you were to happen to get a natural strike, you would lose all those pins in count. Christian has done that already in the 3rd frame and again in the 6th. And now he's got a spare up once again in the 7th. He would be wise to shoot away from the head pin. Another natural strike here, and it could be curtains. Oh, no. He goes Brooklyn this time, and they all go down. So yet again, that's another 10 pins he loses in count. Now look at this. He's done this 3 times this game. He's down 39 pins. 30 of those can be attributed to getting natural strikes after a spare. That's just not playing the game smart. I think as these kids get used to playing this game, they'll learn that. And once again, he fails to convert the spare. 9's not enough when it's the 2nd ball. So another open. And now Charlie with a big 50-pin lead. He can just about walk this one home. He goes with the big loft over the gutter and strikes again. Now the good news for Charlie is he's working on a strike, so he doesn't lose any pins in count. So if he covers this, it's as good as 8 spare. Not as good as 9. 9 would have been a double. But he does cover the spare, and Christian gives him a tepid round of applause. And now Charlie up in the 9th. And another strike, and he gives it the big fist pump, knowing that was a heck of a shot. Unfortunately, it counts for a gutter. So Charlie loses 10 pins in count and has to throw a full rack for his spare. And this time he fails to cover, so that's an open frame in the 9th. And we're going to see some pretty low scores, it looks like, in Suicide No Tap, which is not uncommon, especially when the players are not experienced at playing this format. Christian with a possible 140 if he goes 9-9-9-9. There's 7. So now the best he can do is 130. And you can look at the score sheet and see that that's not going to be enough. Charlie just needs to stay behind the foul line, keep the ball on the lane, and avoid throwing a strike. Uh-oh. And that open frame right there ends it for Christian, if it wasn't already ended. And now he steps up in the 10th frame. He needs a mark just to break 100. Yeah, he's the one that wanted to bowl this format. And another natural strike. Well, he's throwing it pretty well. Problem is, natural strikes are not what you want in this format. So let's see if he can make the spare. He's going to need to, just to break 100. Gotta have this spare to break 100. Oh, and he gets him to mix and shake around. And there's his spare. And now, if Christian can just keep it on the lane, stay behind the foul line, and don't strike, he'll break 100. Did I mention earlier that sometimes his floor can drop and be pretty low? There's a record number of balks on the show today. And this doesn't even matter. I mean, this match is already wrapped up. He needs one pin. And he gets 7, so he finishes with a big whopping 106. And I know he must be proud of that. Charlie will just go through the motions here. He leaves the 6, 7, 10. Thank you very much. Well, the first frame Charlie ever bowled on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. He left this and made it. So let's see if he can do it again. Honestly, we haven't seen him make it again since. Made a bunch of other splits, but not the 6, 7, 10. Well, a 137 to 106 victory is a victory nonetheless. And Christian's down to one more chance to get a win tonight.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm her brother.
And we'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Hi, Prodigy Bowlers. This is Coach Walt. Just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope to see you real soon. Good luck and good bowling in 2018. Let those 300s roll.
A score in the 160s is usually pretty good in suicide no-tap, but I wouldn't expect a score in the 130s to be a winning number, but that's how it turned out for Charlie. So let's see here. Charlie took the 3-game total pins match earlier, he won the Pinpoint match, and he won the suicide no-tap match. Christian has only this one last game to try to salvage much of anything for his pride. So we've given him the choice of bowling balls for both players. He's elected to throw Charlie's Code Black, and he's told Charlie to throw his Sherlock, which should be way too much ball for the right lane, which is hooking like crazy. As I mentioned earlier, when I came out here and threw a few shots, I had to stand way left on the right lane. It was so dry. Christian comes up a little high, throwing Charlie's Code Black. Their grips are so close, Charlie actually gave him his Timeless. And Christian was able to throw it, and he's bowled great with it. so he likes throwing Charlie's equipment. The fit is close enough, and Christian gets the 4-pin to start with a spare. Nothing fancy this game, just straight 10 pins. No goofy formats. The only thing different this time is that Christian got to choose the ball for both players. And he chose for Charlie to throw his Sherlock, which is a pretty strong ball. Here it is. And Charlie finds a way to strike with it. I think Christian is surprised that he's able to get that ball to scoot on down the lane, on the right lane. He was expecting it to hook about 20 feet down the lane, but Charlie has a few different things in his bag of tricks. That one missed the head pin. And Charlie leaves himself the 1-2. Pretty easy spare for a player of his caliber. He doesn't even take any time with it. Just throw it out there and let it bounce off the dry boards to the right. So Christian moves over to the right lane with Charlie's code black. And a little high. Just a little. Charlie's span is just fractionally long for Christian, but he's able to throw it pretty effectively. Although you could tell that was spinning a bit on its side. The difference is Christian gets around it a little more when he throws Charlie's stuff. Well, and he took the circuitous route that time and paid the penalty. He doesn't get to throw his spare ball because that's out of play. He chose this ball. Charlie, likewise, will have to throw his Sherlock at everything. There's a ball that Christian can be proud of. And now Charlie up on the right, nursing a 12-pin lead. That's what I'm talking about on that right lane. That ball checked early. And he nearly had the 4-6-7, but he broke down the split and will shoot just the 7. Again, he doesn't get to use a spare ball. He has to throw this ball at everything. And that's a problem. As I mentioned, that ball is pretty strong, especially on lanes as dry as the right lane, lane 24. When I bowled on them earlier, they were about 4 or 5 boards different. Oh, look at this. He goes with the big loft. That can be an effective way to delay the hook, but the left lane doesn't hook as much as the right lane. And he delayed it a little too long. He leaves the 1-2-8-10, a variation of the washout. Here's how you make it. Send the 1 over into the 10. The ball will take out the 2. The 2 will take out the 8. But he gets too much 1 pin. So that's back-to-back opens for Charlie. And now Christian back out in the lead, working on a strike, can extend it to 21. But he knew as soon as he let go of it, that was not wide enough. think on that right lane, he needs to be playing a little farther to the left with his feet. Maybe a lot farther left. These kids are sometimes resistant to playing in parts of the lane that they're not comfortable with. Look at this. Christian without a spare ball shooting at the right side spares on a dry lane. That's a pretty predictable result right there. He does not have the shot in his bag of tricks to come straight up the back of it and throw it end over end straight at spares. We've tried to show him, but he just can't do it. Part of the reason is he doesn't have the flexibility in his arm to turn it in that direction. So if he's in competition, he definitely needs a spare ball, or at least something that doesn't hook much. 4-pin. And it's gone now. So Charlie trying to make it a clean sweep tonight. There's a solid strike on the right lane. Christian won the first and third matches in our first set of 3, the total pins out of the first 3 matches. But Charlie took the total pins, which was the objective. And then in our, oh, look at this, another big loft, and he gets them all this time. We'll take another look at that one. Watch as he will loft this clear to the arrows. Watch. Good heavens. And he stuffs them 10 back. Well, as I was saying, Christian trying to avoid the sweep. He won the first and 3 matches in that 3-game total pins match, but Charlie won total pins, and that was the idea. And then in our extra frames segment, Charlie won Pinpoint. He won Suicide No Tap, and now in this final match, Christian is trailing by 13. But he gets a double, and that'll cut the lead to 3. So there's hope. He may be able to save face yet. Oh, and Charlie gets that tossed salad shaker. So the lead is back to 13. Christian's just going to have to keep striking, and hope that Charlie gives him an opening. He lofted that one a foot past the arrows. That ball didn't touch the floor until it was at least a foot past the arrows. That's hard to do. And Christian crosses over, trips out the 6 and the 10. Running out of frames. Oh boy. He got that one a little too deep in the oil, threw it with a little extra speed, and instead of staying behind it like he needs to, he got around it too much, and that ball just never read the lane. It just skidded all the way through, and now he's got the virtually impossible 8-10. Might as well go for it. I mean, he's got nothing else to lose, really. Two schools of thought on this. Just hit one and hope it bounces out. I think he's going to try to slide that 8 over into the 10. It's about a 1 in 10,000 shot. And not going to happen. So Charlie up in the 9th. He can put this one away. And that is stone solid, perfect. And he hasn't quite got it wrapped up, but that's pretty close. He just ran that one out. Another big loft and another strike. And that'll do it. So Charlie gets a clean sweep, winning the 3-game total pins match earlier tonight. And he has won each of the 3 games in our bonus coverage. Pinpoint, suicide no tap, and now this McFluffy pick-a-ball 10-pins game where Christian got to select the ball that each player throws. Charlie's going to end up in the 220s. And he throws a backup ball, two-handed at the 10-pin, just to show everybody that he's got all the shots. Well, there's no sense in waiting around for the outcome of this. We know who won. We will be back to wrap things up after this. Hi, this is Coach Randy, USBC Silver Certified Coach and Executive Producer of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. I just want to extend my heartfelt best wishes to you and your family in this most festive of seasons. I hope you have the happiest of holidays. Oh, and many thanks to you for all the blessings you've bestowed upon me in 2017 because of your loyalty and support of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. May we all shoot a big series in 2018 and face a few less 10 pins. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, there you have it, our special Christmas edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. We started with a 3-game total pins match, the Christmas gift exchange, and Charlie took that 652 to 584, despite Christian winning 2 of the 3 games. Then in our Extra Frames segment of the show, Charlie won the Pinpoint match at the wire by a score of 90 to 50. Then, in the format Christian was begging us to do, suicide no tap, Charlie took that one, 137 to 106. Christian had to mark in the 10th just to break 100 in that one. And in the final match of the day, Christian got to choose which ball both players would use, and Charlie still won, 226 to 167. So as Christmas outings go, I'd say this one is not one Christian will want to remember. It was a day of season's beatings for McFluffy. But Charlie reserved a spot on the coveted trophy pin for his name with his win in the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Christmas gift exchange, and got to show off a little bit in our Extra Frames segment. We hope you enjoyed this special edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. We have a couple more episodes in the offing between now and the time our kids are due back in league on January 6th. So check back in periodically over the holidays. We wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus for the rest of us, and most of all, a Happy Toyota-thon. A promotional fee was not paid by Toyota.